You know that feeling when you're doing all the right things, yet something still feels off? Your meetings are full, your team's active, and on paper, everything looks strong. People would probably describe you as effective. But when you slow down long enough to breathe, there's that quiet ache inside. You start asking, why doesn't my momentum match my effort? Why do I feel tired even when the metrics look good? That gap you feel isn't a lack of discipline or of drive. It's the space between performance and purpose. What happens when leadership is outwardly successful but inwardly restless? Most leaders spend their days managing outcomes instead of leading from their calling. We chase the next project, the next initiative, the next measurable result, hoping it will finally feel like fulfillment. But what it often produces is exhaustion disguised as achievement. So we add more goals, we add more meetings, we add more pressure, and then we call it progress. And underneath the surface, the soul starts whispering, is this really what success is supposed to feel like? If that's you, you're not broken. You're just busy. And there's a better way. It's not about heroic energy bursts or the latest leadership hack. It's about becoming a 1% leader, a leader who refuses to settle for average. A 1% leader isn't someone who thinks they're better than anyone else. The 1% leader is someone who knows they're responsible for the influence they've been given and chooses to steward it faithfully. They understand that small, consistent, value-aligned actions compound into clarity, confidence, and lasting impact. In this episode, I want to show you what really that means. We'll connect the dots between everything we've talked about so far, keeping the main thing, building a 90-day plan that actually works, and leading as a vision-driven person whose impact goes beyond results to eternal significance. By the end, you'll have a simple way to evaluate where you're strong, where you're drifting, and one next step you can take this week to move forward with peace. I'm Phil Routley, and this is the 1% Leader, the place where vision-driven leaders rise above the noise, clarify their calling, and lead with peace, confidence, and eternal impact. I've spent more than 50 years leading across business, ministry, and nonprofit arenas. I've seen leadership in classrooms, boardrooms, and crisis rooms. What I've learned is simple. Leadership always rises and falls on clarity. This channel's built for leaders who feel the pressure to perform, yet still long to lead from purpose. Each week, we slow the pace, clear the clutter, and get practical. We bend biblical truth with strategic tools, so you can build systems that serve your soul, not the other way around. If you're tired of hype and hungry for wisdom that actually works, you're in the right place. I'd be honored to walk with you on this journey of leading faithfully in a noisy world. So if that's the journey you're on, hit subscribe, tap the bell so you never miss an episode. Remember that every skyscraper begins underground. You never see tourists taking photos of the pilings, but everyone photographs the skyline. The deeper the foundation, the higher the structure can rise. Leadership works the same way. For a 1% leader, the foundation isn't image, platform, or applause. The foundation is identity and calling. The Apostle Paul wrote that no one can lay any foundation other than the one already laid, which is Jesus Christ. Even in a marketplace context, the principle holds. Build on truth, character, and conviction. Years ago, I coached a rising executive, sharp, driven, magnetic. He loved the energy and attention that came with his role, but when his company restructured and the applause quieted, so did his courage. He said to me, I realized that I had built my confidence on applause, and when the applause stopped, I did too. He wasn't weak. He was standing on sand. That same season, a nonprofit director I worked with had to cut 10% of her budget. She said, I don't love this, but I'm not afraid of it. Our mission is clear. We'll adapt and keep serving people. Her foundation was deeper than her numbers, and that stability gave her team peace in the middle of uncertainty. So here's the question. Every 1% leader needs to be asking, what do I believe about who I am and why I'm here that doesn't change when the metrics change? We all need to return to that truth daily, because storms will come, and that foundation keeps you standing long enough to learn from them. Clarity is the leader's greatest advantage. Without it, energy leaks in 10 directions. With it, even modest energy becomes powerful. Proverbs says, let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. That's focused leadership. It's attention with intention. Being focused begins by asking a hard question. What is the main thing in this season? Not the main thing 5 years from now. Not what everyone else's podcast says to chase. Your main thing. Right now. A director I work with had 20 initiatives on paper. Everybody was busy, but no one felt successful. We reduced those 20 to 3 outcomes for the next 90 days. We aligned meetings, budgets, and calendars to those outcomes. By the end of the quarter, they accomplished more than in the previous 12 months combined. Nothing magical happened except for focus. Focus always takes courage. You'll have to say no. You'll disappoint some people. You'll walk past good opportunities that aren't right for this season. Saying no isn't selfish. It's stewardship. It's how you protect the mission that matters more than your image. Intensity looks impressive for a moment, but consistency changes reality over time. Many leaders live like the next burst of effort will finally fix everything. But the better way is rhythm, the steady, intentional habits that refuel your soul and sustain your strength. A 1% leader protects one block of thinking time each week. It could be 60 minutes Tuesday morning or a quiet hour on Friday afternoon. In that space, review your 90-day plan, check the scoreboard, confirm the next small step. No adrenaline, just attention. Start each day with intention. Not with your phone, not with anxiety. Start with prayer, scripture, and one clear win for the day. Write it down and guard your first 90 minutes for that win. Do that 3 times a week for a year, and you'll be astonished by what moves. And yes, rest is part of the rhythm. Rest is not indulgence. It's obedience. It's how you remind yourself and your team that worth is not measured by volume or speed. When your well runs dry, even good water turns cloudy. Maybe for you, rhythm means reclaiming one evening a week for renewal. Maybe it's a quiet walk without your phone. Maybe it's saying no to a weekend email so you can say yes to worship and family. When your rhythm improves, your leadership improves, not because work got easier, but because you got stronger. Leadership isn't about how much you can carry. It's about how much you can catalyze in others. Bottleneck leaders are everywhere. Brilliant, capable, exhausted. They fix every crisis and wonder why they're the only ones who ever seem to fix anything. A 1% leader multiplies capacity. They give ownership, not just tasks. They teach people how to think, not just what to do. One CEO told me, I hired smart people, but I'm still in every decision. We created a simple rule. Before bringing a problem, bring one proposed solution with trade-offs. Within 6 months, his calendar opened. His team grew in confidence and outcomes improved. He did less controlling and more coaching. He stopped being the hero and started being the multiplier. So ask yourself, who am I investing in to do what I do? What decision, am I still making that someone else could begin to own with coaching? Your answers will show how scalable your leadership really is. Foundation, focus, rhythm, and multiplication all point somewhere toward lasting impact. Anybody can create short-term excitement. A 1% leader builds long-term fruit. Impact asks deeper questions. Who are we becoming while we achieve what we achieve? Who will be stronger because we led this way? One of my favorite coaching moments was the retirement celebration of a small church pastor. No big platform, no national following, but person after person stood up and said, "Thank you for showing up when it was hard. Thank you for helping me believe that my life mattered to God." That's impact. You can't chart it on a spreadsheet, but it echoes through generations. Impact isn't only about results. It's about alignment, faithfulness before fame, fruit that remains over quick wins. So ask yourself, if my current path continues for 5 years, what will be true that truly matters? If the answer feels unclear, don't feel shame, feel invitation. That tension may be the spirit nudging you to refocus. Keeping the main thing gives you direction. A 90-day plan gives you movement, and the 5 marks of a 1% leader keep that movement anchored in integrity. So here's how to start. Number 1, choose your main thing for the next 90 days. One outcome that, if achieved, moves your mission forward. 2, define 3 enabling projects that make that outcome possible. Each has one clear owner and 2 or 3 scorecard indicators. Number 3, build a weekly rhythm to review progress, remove obstacles, and celebrate wins. Number 4, practice the daily 1% habit, one focused action that moves the main thing forward, ideally in your first 90 minutes. Number 5, review your foundation weekly. Check motives, invite feedback, and name drift early on. It's simple, but not casual. Steady, strategic, spiritual. It builds the leader you're becoming while it builds the results you're pursuing. If you can grab a notebook or pause to think through these, which mark needs your attention most right now? Foundation, focus, rhythm, multiplication, or impact? What's one small action you can take in the next 48 hours to strengthen it? Who will you tell? Clarity grows when it's shared. Accountability turns intention into movement. You don't need a perfect plan to be a 1% leader. You just need a faithful next step. And when you string enough faithful steps together, momentum is inevitable and peace returns. This is what the 1% leader is all about. Not hype, not hustle. A steady path to lead with clarity, courage, and conviction. If you're ready to build your next 90-day plan the right way, join me for the 1% Leader Masterclass, a free 3-hour reset to clarify your calling, design your plan, and lead with peace. You can reserve your seat at philroutley.com/masterclass. If this episode served you, please do 2 things. First, subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss what's next. Secondly, share this with one leader who needs a calm, clear voice this week. That one share might be the nudge that helps them lead with clarity again. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm cheering for you and praying that this week you will sense fresh focus, renewed energy, and quiet confidence that comes from leading in alignment with your calling. Next week, we'll build your 90-day plan together. I'll show you how to set outcomes, choose projects, and maintain momentum without stretching yourself too thin. Until then, stay focused, stay faithful, lead with clarity, and remember, I'm always on your side.